who is able to pop off as we're getting towards the end. It is 4:04 p.m. on the East Coast. It means the queues should be about done. We'll get the last couple of games going as we see another competitive vet actually getting taken down there. That's Atlantis' Majin going down to Cartoon here.
A lot of people, including Stormy, right, actually, are taking accounts of that and putting it into their own gameplay, always having a decisive take on what to do next. The biggest issue with Stormy sometimes, though, is the tunnel vision when it comes to making plays, sometimes being forced into positions, and that happens right now as well, as he tries to play back a little bit fearful of the power that Cartoon had, and Cartoon sensing every single opening of every single region. And NAEast is coming up, we'll see it there too. The Burst AR, I think, is the most sleeper early game weapon that can just surprise someone with 360 damage headshots close range. Thoughts?
I think I agree. I think the Burst AR is stronger in the early game than it is in the late game, as we see Benji now going to work, trying to use that C4, the remote detonation there, something that has been adjusted for competitive play. In particular, Benji using it to get whatever advantage he can, and then pushing in to Jader's box, sitting on 190 points today. Benji, come on, man. Like, let somebody else run through. He's just been playing solos so well. Like,
this man is so fast and so good at what he does, now has height. If you blinked or even looked away for 5 seconds, you've missed the power dynamic and instantly takes over. Apocalypto does not even understand what hit him.
And the thing that is the way they're able to weave in the builds and edits into their own fights. The way he's able to throw a wall out and protect himself as the shots come through. But unfortunately, Jake letting me down there, not covering himself in either one of those circumstances. And Ray's doing what Ray's does best and just flying forward at him, trying to steal whatever walls he can. You can see Teak desperately trying to disengage and get away from the situation. Good job walling off there, putting a floor in between and using the tree to his advantage. However, Ice finding an angle and still tracking and following Teak incredibly well. Pushes into the box now. It's just the ramp separating between. Teak unable to get out the side. Takes the 75 hit. Ice phases up through and Teak gets destroyed. Absolutely no turd, no change in damage, and Ice will reap the benefits there. Great mid-game fight to make it an endgame. And the other half is people who are saying, okay, I need a 50-point game here, or I need at minimum 5 elims before I start getting into placement points before, if I'm going to try and push for tomorrow. And people will go for it. And yes, some people will be cost, but that's the nature of a battle royale. You're dropping in. There's 100 other players in the lobby. 99 players do not win the game. If you only have 6 bullets, I think you cannot take an extended fight, so you need to get in and make those 6 bullets count. If you're able to break into somebody's box and have 6 bullets with attack, that should be enough to resolve a fight. And honestly, if it's not enough, you probably don't deserve to win the fight. As now we hop on board with Cartoon here, who we saw with a great early game pressure, but hasn't turned it into a lot more sense. Sitting only on 3 elims and still looking for refreshers for his mats, not afraid to build out and use as much as he can. Tracking this player, has good control, 41 going there, but gets traded 36 back himself. Does have the minis as well as that Slurpy Swamp directly behind him to top off afterward. He's going to continue to just press W, hold forward, depends on the input mode, but Glorly is having none of it. Trying to disengage, create as much space between him and Cartoon. He says, get this Psycho away from me. I want to play for late game. I want nothing to do with this. And Cartoon wants everything to do with it. He still has him pinned right now, because Gorley pressing the fresh cone. He's going to lose both the cone and the floor, and the chase is on. And Cartoon finds yet another one. Glorly going down there in 50 seconds, so only 1 point for his trouble that game. That hurts.
For players on the edge to find eliminations, that'll always happen, but then put them on the back end on rotating in. Right now, a lot of calmness near Pleasant Park, not too many boxes to fight in, but once again, Aqua now will look with Sky's loot to expand on his elimination collection. 2 right now to maybe a fast 3 as he owns the wall. The quick pyramid, the chase down now gets extended, an opportunity to end that fight early. Miss the third-party RPG coming in, and he finally finds it, I believe, on a Blackie there. He gets taken out, but now he's on the defense with so much loot left to kind of sift through.
Particular people get caught out in the open. However, I mean, we talked about it a lot last week. I think slightly weaker only because of the change to solos, as is that heavy sniper, but it still hits like a truck. As Cryptice goes down there, and Thomas saying, hey, you know what? That Deadpool supply drop looks awful free right now. It's his turn to try and be a loot goblin, and as he does that, another player also going Brutus's minigun going to begin its ripping and tearing process as the bullets do go burr. However, the pump going to immediately shred back, and Thomas on the negative side of that trade, and we've talked about it before. The pump versus minigun combo, if you're not able to get there, oh boy, this will be fun. Cartoon versus Thomas, who wins, Shio?
Right now, I'm going to call it, it's going to be Thomas 100%, but I don't even think there's going to be a fight, honestly. Actually, completely lied. Big shots being traded. My money's on Thomas. Not sure about you, though, Sundown.
Oh, dude, Cartoon's been playing better in this game. Like, Cartoon has been flying at people. You can tell he's not afraid. He heard that minigun. He's going for it. Thomas is looking for the bait. Thomas actually took the heavy sniper out there for a second. Looks like he's going to try and force through the wall. Instantly goes to try and no-scope going through, but this is also super awkward because editing went down on this grid. It's really hard to get precise edits going down, and Cartoon trades out 2 huge shots onto Thomas, forcing him back. Has control over that wall, but again, both taking a second to be like, nah, chug. Some slurp time, 82, and Cartoon blasts them right back. The better shots on the day, Shio. You know, sometimes you're right, and then sometimes you have to eat a jar of mayonnaise. A quick little exchange is going on the outside of the safe zone here, right in the corner. Gyansa's getting pressured, but he has tons of supplies and slurfish. He knows if he can get out of this fight, he'll be in an okay situation. Benji picking up Clement on the side as Gyansa picks up Snuffles, and that felt kind of desperate there from Snuffles. Chilling. Like we said, this is the part of the game. It's like everything happens at once, and then a whole lot of nothing happens unless somebody gets chosen. And now we get a good look at that lobby again. Here's Aqua with Sky's loadout. You have Benji just below him on the side. Magil also in the lobby. And you can see another one of the supply drops is going to be fought over. If you check the bottom right-hand corner, pretty much everyone is pocketed over by the supply drop or in the zone. The reason for that being the supply drop, the guaranteed launch pad, Shao AJ.
Yeah, and people want it. Communal ones put up everywhere, but the man who's going to be spectating every single one looking for the tags, the pattern we see, a scary one too. Aqua on height. And every time this happens, every time it's 5th zone and he's there, he ends up winning the game. This time, he won't have a minigun. It'll be a grappler. We talked about it before. This is the item to have for the top players on the server.
It's just so good, man. Unlimited uses, you're able to get actual vertical and horizontal speed. You can save yourself from fall damage when there really isn't any remotely good ways to save yourself other than catching yourself or the random landing on somebody with a glider. And then the fact that it also comes with a higher rate of fire mythic AR that is able to just absolutely laser people in the hands of somebody who aims as well as Aqua. Like we've seen how well they were with an infantry rifle. This basically has the first shot accuracy timer of it. And right now, Aqua was at 240th yesterday, so a good little bounce back so far today, sitting on 114 points. Should put himself well in that top 300 when all is said and done. But now another high-level player as we close into the top 30, pulling Mr. Savage special. We saw him being the first one to really start doing this in the late games and sitting inside fully built cones, and he does it, and he takes out Flick. A nice little pick there, but playing Loot Goblin costs him a solid amount of HP. He's not going to be able to get the white HP back, but does have plenty of shields he can pop safely.
I mean, there's a reason he tells people to use code 200IQ. It's because he has that brain power with every single combination in his loadout. At the same time, smart moves from Aqua to actually put down Metal 4s beforehand. Now, basically, the foundation of his big tarp is un-RPGable. At least it'll take 2 of those explosives to come through and stop him up. This gives him time to take people out like Tokar from range and free reign. 360 degrees of total carnage, but doesn't actually stop the basket. A launch pad immediately put down. He knows the power points he needs to get to. He knows where he needs to be to get more action, more sight lines down, and he needs to move to get there first.
And he can just wait because he has the grappler, and when he decides to go and he wants to go up, there is nothing stopping him other than revealing that info. But however, the player who flanks him timely and knows he has the grappler out, makes him eat 3 tack shots there, forced him down to 52 HP. And again, he's in a tough situation now because he needs to find time to not only pop 2 minis, but also a big shield, which generally you're not going to get. Rocket Launcher coming out right now, keeping pressure onto him. They know he has the grappler as well, so they're not going to give him that time. He has to drop down and create a little bit more space, and as he does that, he actually moves into a really good rotational spot, getting towards the edge of that zone. Going to take a little more white damage on the trade here, but has the grappler to begin his horizontal movement straight into the box. 69 into 78. Can he follow it up using the rate of fire? from that AR to get through. A great window edit on the other side brings him down to 32, and he says, not today, Cooler Aqua, not today. High ground, the mythic loadout going over to Gyanza as the Karma sitting here on the mid ground, Chio.
Yep, it's always this individual that ends up being right above or below absolute carnage. A hole-in-one almost from Aqua, but he becomes right below par at the end of the day, trying to get into that box. Now Karma finds a way with 2 eliminations to survive all the way at low ground as Pepe finds a chance to miss a launch pad, possibly no materials on the side jump. Gyanza still controls height as Karma is still finding ways to survive. A mere 8 HP breaks into the box, becomes the third party to his own fight, and picks up huge dividends on loot, but he has to be able to survive to use these materials. A chance here, needs to pop the minis, absolute low ground, as the entire server drops down to 8 people here, Sundown.
And that slight little lip on the hill is actually causing a lot of people trouble, forcing them around the right-hand side because of all the builds that are already there, and into just this funnel of destruction that was Skite and Alex on the backside. You can see Alex forced into the site as well. Skite, however, has high ground on the rest of the lobby. Slimy, Paler, Nakama Karma, all pinned down as Skite, the French player who is qualified for almost every major event, is going to do his best to close it out, but now forced to drop down as Paler has stolen the grappler away from Gyanza, who had it. We see it changing hands, and will it turn into another victory? It looks like it might, as Nakama Karma also going down, and Aloft Slimy playing from the low ground. He's doing incredibly well right now, and it looks like this should... Honestly, I'm not sure here. I want to see the loadout of the other player before we call it, but Grappler OP, question mark?
Possibly, but every time it's always a wrap-up in a 1v1, and the grappler won't matter if you need to get close and personal to the person on low ground. Right now, Paylor has that pump shotgun. We've seen it do big damage, but if he misses that shot and this player has attack, it could be deadly, but it's 2 pumps back-to-back in mid-air. Paylor finds the 1-2 left-right hook combination.